here, Wisp here. And it's the first time that I'm making, well, it's not the first time I made a live stream, but it is the first time I've made it through my Y speaker, through the Euro tool. Because months ago, they told me you had to get 50 followers. Well, I guess you got to have at least 82, which that's how many followers I've gotten. And I'm right here right now in Rainbowland, making this film. And I know that I thought when I started this fairway way back in the first month of this year, I did think I was going to get a lot of followers. Well, I guess I was kind of wrong about that. Yes, I did get about 82, and that is a lot of folks to get. Now, the first thing I'm going to talk about are some folks in this world who take things the wrong way. So, yes, there was someone in the Rainbow BRITE followership, not going to say names or handles here, but we did talk in the past. And one time he did guilt me and said that I was showing all these dolls off and it was bad. I was shaming him and saying, "Oh, look, I have something you don't have anymore." Well, that wasn't true. And after I ended up telling him this, everything was cool until like last month or a month before that when he says the same thing again. So I was like, I guess that's enough. I guess it was hush, lock, and forbid. Even though I do forgive him for what he said and did, what I do on this fairway, the dolls I have gotten, showing them off, it has nothing to do with, because I know there are folks out there who have a lot more dolls than I do, and I'm not angry at them, but he took it that way. But then again, that wasn't how it was meant to be taken, And I know that at the end of the day, if no one watches this live stream, that's all right. At least I could make a live stream. Hello. It goes TF. I don't know what TF is, but thank you for coming on a live stream all the same. So, as everyone knows, I have been, working for God, bringing chaos, light, and brightness for at least 40 years, maybe 41 years. And a lot of folks will say things like, well, Rainbow BRITE, it says, hey, you playing with a doll? Yes, I'm playing with a doll, that's right. I got third between folks watching, Now I got 4 between folks watching, So, because that's what I want to do. And that's what I want to do. And there. All right, now just knocked back to 10 folks watching. But that's all right with me, It is what it is. So, and I know that a lot of folks are going to say, well, Hardmark only came up with you for their answer to Vinlander greetings. Well, strawberry shortcake. Well, even if that was true, and I happen to be good friends with Strawberry Shortcake. Hell, she's been on my fairway more than once, so you can go back and watch those films if you want to. And, I got 4 folks watching my live stream, and I am truly happy with that. Well, okay, now my wife's speaker is like flipping away. So, as I was saying before, I had about many folks watching, 4 folks watching, that's good. As I was saying, there are some folks in this world who are angry at anyone who's got something that they don't have or once did or don't have anymore. And they might say that, oh, you're showing it, they might say, that you're showing off by having, by having this in your film, which is not true. Not at all. I know there are folks that got way a lot more, and I'm not angry at anyone. So I talked to him about this, and then he was cool, and everything's great. And I think like the last month or a month before that, he starts up again saying, oh, I don't have these things and you do, and you did it to shame me or guilt me. And I didn't do that to him at all. And I just had to hush, lock him and forbid him, you know. And now someone write down something I don't know. And the next thing is I said hi. Well, hello there. You know, now I'm back to one folk watching, which that's good. If I can get one folk watching my live stream, that's all right. So everyone's like, why do a fairway anyway? Well, because believe it or not, Dwayne was into Rainbow BRITE long time ago. This would have been at least 40 years ago, 41 years ago. And he did watch the drawing show. Now, he was born in between 84 YL, so he was too young to have watched the Farsi or Outstanding sagas that ran, I guess, either on ABC or NBC or CBS. I don't know. And he was most likely one by the time that Rainbow BRITE and the Star Stealer came along in between 85 YL. And between 86 YL, he would have been at least been 2. So he started watching Rainbow BRITE the first following, you know, and luckily ended up getting, the Rainbow BRITE Farseer show Outstanding Sagas on film, watched that, then ended up watching Rainbow BRITE and the Star Stealer, and then the 2 live Rainbow BRITE films that Deke made for Hallmark, one called It's Your Birthday, Rainbow BRITE, and Rainbow BRITE Saga and at the Cisco Keep. And keep in mind, even though the dolls were made from between 85 YL to between 87 YL, the drawing show got long runs until between 91 YL. So one year, he at one time did have the Mattel Rainbow BRITE doll. He had Lurky, he had Merkwell Dismal, and that was it for one he had. And for 1 year, for Halloween, his mother did his hair up and gave him the star. But then years later, he had kind of fell out of it, but then gotten back into it. Yes, this is me, the loyal me, the trusted Burr Toys Rainbow BRITE doll. The ones that you can buy from Walmart, or you can buy from Walmart's website or Amazon or Strong Women's website, And I don't and to be honest with you, I am truly happy with learning that, I can do live streams now because I have about 82 followers. So I have about 82 followers on this live stream, which is a big deal, And sorry if this live stream isn't glee enough, And since I only have 82 followers, I don't know any of the 82 followers or anyone who is watching this live stream, so their guess is good as mine. I want to see it. Well, you know what? We don't have to worry about that. Okay, that's done. And out of this live stream, I had to block and forbid and hush 2 folks, Now, Anyway, everything goes, why did you, they're like, Rainbow Bright, why did God choose you to be the cast bringer, the light bringer, the brightness bringer? Well, hi, Rainbow Bright. Hi there. Good to see you. You know, so we're getting in. Hi there, Omen Boy. Good to get into why God chose me to be Rainbow Bright. This happened 40 years ago where I came to a world which had been taken over by the King of Shadows. Say what it is. It could have been Lucifer. And God entrusted me to bring light into the world by looking for the Sword of Light. I met Twink. I also met Starlight, who was frozen. And during our times, we ended up dealing with Merkwell, Dismal, and Lurky when we went to the no comeback water, which the bridge broke thanks to Merkwell, Dismal, and Lurky. After we seek the baby, after falling into the waterway and a hollow, which I seek the rainbow strap, or the cast strap, or whatever you want to call it. And then after that led us to seeking out the other cast kids. Like first Red Butler, who was locked up in the hollow that we were in. Or, Canary Yellow, who was being guarded by a two-headed lindworm. Or Lila, or Patio Green, who was in a nest of a weird bird. Now, we would like to say we had gotten Indigo and Canary Yellow and Lila Orange and Buddy Blue, but that's not true because Merkwell, Dismal, and Lurky had taken them, along with Baby Bright. But we did end up freeing, Shy Violet. And then I ended up going layer to layer with the King of Shadows. I had to fight the King of Shadows. And that's when I learned that Baby Bright was a sword of light, which the likeness that God took in that world, and ended up beating the King of Shadows. And then God said after that after all, and your name will be Rainbow Bright, and that you will be entrusted with the cast and light and brightness of all the worlds, and that there'll be those who want to take away the light, and you have to fight those. And I said I will. And I gave my oath to God about 40 or 41 years ago. Now, a lot of folks want to say, well, what was your name before Rainbow Bright? My name was Wisp. That was my name. And before I became Rainbow Bright. So yeah, that's how I was entrusted with being entrusted with the cast strap or the rainbow strap, as you see it's right there, 40 or 41 years ago. Someone one time wrote, I guess, on one of my films months ago, back when I met Sailor Moon in Tuxedo Mask or Evening Wear Hide, they're like, would Sailor Moon be angry with all the onlook and love that Rainbow Bright is getting right now? And I don't think so. I don't think so. Both of us are Deke. She's my Deke sister, where my show tended to be one of the beloved Deke shows. Hers wasn't so beloved. But I don't think, whoa, shit. Well, at the end of the day, sorry for saying that, but at the end of the day, I think Sailor Moon would be happy with the love and onlook I'm getting. And how I'm happy for Sailor Moon too. It goes, Sailor Moon would work with you. Yes, that's true. Me and Sailor Moon did work together once to fight Merkwell Dismal. So we did am up working together. I do have there's a new drawing show or a new drawing film that Hallmark is coming up with original films or first films. There's not a month or a date or a year set yet for when that's going to happen. But your guess is good as mine when that's going to happen, though. And there's a lot of folks out there that are worried about how my new drawing show and drawing film will be handled. Now, keep in mind, there were other drawing shows. Now, in 2009 YL, there were these web shows, which Hallmark made, and they didn't do very well. And then in 24 between FYL, Hallmark had gotten a deal with some streaming business known as Filmy, and they made new Rainbow BRITE. Only 3 followings, and folks didn't really like how that one was handled. Now, I don't know when this new drawing show and drawing film from Original Films or First Films is going to happen. I don't know the month, date, or year when that's going to happen. And I don't know who's going to get the streaming or broadcast right to it, to be honest with you. So your guess is good as mine when it comes to that, though. And I got this thing on my live stream called Top Fans or Top Followers. I guess if I hit that, it will then show me the top folks watching this stream or something. I don't know. I just see it, but I don't know what it does. If anyone knows what it does, let me know. Let's see. All right, I hit it and nothing happens. Oh, it shows the 2 folks who are watching my live stream right now. All right. Well, that's new. So that's what that does. But keep in mind, half of the other tools here don't really do much. And this is the first time that I made this, not the first time I made a live stream, no. But it's the first time I made it through this web, my Wise Far Speaker for the Euro tool. Because see, it seems you got to have 82 or more followers to unlock the setting, And how do you know? Just one day today I went on to see if the setting was unlocked or not. And it says, oh, yeah, it's unlocked. So that's good to know. So, as we want to say, everybody wants to see who else do I have. Well, first we got Twink, the Small Starlight, Small Red Butler, Small Merkwell, Dismal, and Lurky. We got we have Stormy and Tickled Pink. We are still working on getting Moonglow. We don't know when we're ever going to get her or not. And we don't know if the Loyal Subject Toys or the Trusted Berber Toys will be making the other dolls from that or not. I could guess they would be. But I have met and dealt with many other folks from other worlds as well. Anyone, So, I don't know. I know how long I'll let this, how long this live stream's going to go for. And everyone wants to know, where can you buy my dolls at? Well, the newer ones, you can get them from Walmart or Walmart's website. Amazon or Strong Women, you can also get them for there as well. The older things, well, you can either get them from eBay or Etsy or Deal Dash or Overstock, but you're gonna yield a lot more for the older things. And every time we go to the Vinlander Thrift Middle or the Glasport Thrift Middle or the Salvation Army one or the Helping Fighting Arm Given Thrift Middle or the Goodwill Given Thrift Middle, we keep hoping that we will come across, either the Mattel ones or the Up Go Toys ones or Toy Time ones or the other businesses that, made them over the years. Now, for anyone who hasn't been watching, so anyway, that's really it for that. Now, I know some folks out there are going to say, well, what do I think about strawberry shortcake? Well, she's one of my friends. I met her earlier this year. She's been in many of my films. You can go back and watch every one of them. You know, even though even though she's had a lot more drawing shows than I have, but that's all right. And some folks want to know, well, where can you watch Rainbow Brite? On UWay, you can. You can just look it up and there it is, because as of right now, no one truly has a streaming deal with it. And the only thing, and Hallmark and Wild Brian did put them on disc though, and that was far as that went. So you can go on YouTube or UWay and you can look it up, and that's where you can watch it. So, and someone brought this up and say, well, why doesn't Hallmark make a Rainbow Brite Fairway? Like a one where they show all the drawing shows. I mean, first you have the Far Seer Outstanding sagas, then you have the film, then you have the first following of the show, and then you have the free followings of the 24 between FYL1. And you can just run those back to back. I wish that would be something. But sadly, it doesn't seem to be a thing. But I guess one day it is, Well, it was good having this live stream. I want to thank everyone for coming on to this live stream and things. Sorry for that burp right there if it came out. I'll see you all later. Have a rainbow day.